Hello.
Hi, welcome back to the Wallflowers live stream. This is the space at the end of the week, at the weekend, where we can talk freely and we can talk about anything at all.
Bit late tonight, a bit of a late one, but glad you can all join us. We've got a few on already
Where can you tell?
at the top there.
Oh, hi.
We've been doing it for a few weeks.
Lovely to see you, Rachel.
Thanks for all the comments and for everything last week as well, even though we lost a load of subs through it.
The next day when we woke up and took a look at the subs, we'd lost about 12. So we've just got to be ourselves and we've just got to love the community that wishes to stay with us, and that's all we can do. Basically it, isn't it? Oh, hi Tessie. So proud of you for your video today, love. So love your demeanour and your attitude, and you handled that so well. I'm really, really so proud.
We didn't think you'd be able to join us tonight. I thought you'd be out looking for a job.
We giggled all the way through it and we just fully supported you 100%. You did so well.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Frank. Hi, April and Dave. Lovely of you to be with us. Oh, Shatika Woods. Evening, Shatika. It's the first time I've read your name, love.
No, she just commented a couple of times.
Hi, P. Ellis. We'll get to know what the P stands for one day. Hi, Claire. Tessie's in the room with us as well. Lovely to have you with us. Hi, Tanette. And hi, Jonathan. Right, so it's been an up and a down week, really, hasn't it? The weather's been getting cold again. And we lost the heating for a short while, didn't we? It just went off. We put the money on it and everything, you know, and it just wouldn't come back on. So I've still got my hot water bottle behind me and we're waiting for the heating to heat up.
I'm roasting.
Mr. Wallflowers is warm and I just can't feel it in my bones today. We do know it, Tessie, and we feel exactly the same about you, love.
Yep.
Hi, Mama Four Boys. And Wanda. Hello. Oh. Yes, so
this week, what did we do? Got a phone call from our son, didn't we? He was sick again, couldn't breathe, and asking for an inhaler, wasn't he?
He'd had an asthma attack, and he was quite breathless.
Phoned for an ambulance, but the ambulance couldn't come because they were on strike. So they said, if you can get yourself to hospital. So we asked around for anybody had a spare inhaler, and luckily one of our friends had a spare inhaler. So I went to pick that up and then went to his and dropped it off.
Luckily enough, not long after taking it, his breathing returned to normal.
As soon as he took it out, he was really back to normal.
Yeah.
He was coughing and being sick and couldn't breathe.
With a bit of relaxation technique and an inhaler, he was back to normal. So it was good.
But the thing is, he's got a lot of mold growing on the ceiling of the bedroom. It's only a rented house. But there was all little black dots of mold halfway across the ceiling. And
sorry to hear about your granddaughter, Tessie. Hope she gets better soon, love.
It was all around the windowsill. All this black mold.
Oh, she is feeling better.
So he's been trying to scrub it off and it wouldn't come off. But a couple of months ago, I come across this product called Magic Mold Remover. And we bought 2 just in case to keep. And took that along and it all come off. Just wiped it all off with this gel.
We're not affiliated, we're not getting paid. You know what we use.
For 2 of them. I think they were £9 each or 2 for 14. So we bought it just in case one day we might need it. And luckily enough, we had it in. So took that, wiped it off.
You've cleaned everything and treated it, haven't you?
So hopefully that could be the end of it. Eucalyptus oil. Yeah, he has eucalyptus oil.
We've done that when they were children, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we'd always
Dab a bit
splash
on the night clothes and the back of the headboard, so they'd have that in
the
there.
pillows.
Yeah.
Even when we've got colds, we use eucalyptus.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially now, and especially if people aren't using the heating as much, that mold will grow. Yeah.
And not so long ago, a 2-year-old died over here through living in a council flat that was covered in the mold, and the council were being held to account, and they were getting sued for it. So it can kill that black mold.
Hi, Anne.
Hi, Anne. Nice to see you.
Should we do our shout outs?
The members.
We always do a members shout out in the live stream, and it's something we like to do to thank all our members.
And we got a new member as well.
We got a new member, yeah.
Lost a load of subs, but
so hello to Linda Jacko, Ellen Fisher, Mother Wolf, Gaz Gazia, Maxine Ray, Anne Lockie, Deborah Barnes, and Nina Moi Blue Nans. Thank you all.
Everyone.
Yeah, bleach vinegar works quite well to clean the mold, but I don't know if you just caught Mr. Wallflowers was recommending this. As I say, we're not affiliated, but it's like a mold repellent to gel form. It clings to the surface and it works quite well on.
You just wipe it on, leave it on for a couple of hours, and then just wipe it off. And takes all the mold off. And it says the mold won't grow back, but see what happens over time.
Evening, Mother Wolf. You've just missed your shout out. You might have caught it before you commented.
Yeah, I bought that off eBay. It was 1 for £9 or 2 for 12 or 14, something like that.
We got the 2, didn't we, to make sure we got our money's worth and that we had plenty of it.
Yeah, it should be available in America. If it's on eBay, I'm sure they'll ship to America.
Yeah. You have to look in at the eBay America and then look at the UK eBay UK, and that's what we do. We look at both.
That's what I was just saying. It can kill that black mold. Esther Ross saying it nearly killed her ex. They had to move out.
We keep getting it in a thin strip along the bathroom ceiling, and we have to keep cleaning it and treating it, don't we?
Yeah.
It's the first time we've put this particular one on it, though, isn't it? Hi, Lorraine. Yeah. What else have we been talking about? We've been talking about a few things this week, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, about 2 weeks ago, half of my film fell out. So I was getting like toothache, and you can't get into the dentist over here. We've been struck off because we haven't been for a couple of years. So they strike it off. So you can't get in to see anyone. So
there's not just a waiting list if you're actually signed up for a dentist. There's a waiting list to actually be signed up to be accepted to treated by a surgery, and there's a waiting list to go on the waiting list. So it's horrific.
So because I
Mr.
was in
Wallflowers
pain,
lost a piece of his filling, and that was what was causing your pain, wasn't it?
Yeah. So went to the chemist and got some of this. This was $3.99. It's just a temporary filling, but it's been in now for nearly 2 weeks, and it works.
So where did you buy this from?
I bought it from Boots Chemist in the UK.
It was quite simple to do it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just took a couple of minutes.
But that's something that you need in your first aid box for the future. I'm sure you've all got first aid boxes.
Prepper kits, first aid boxes, and things like that you just wouldn't think of, would you? But they are there and they are available. And if the time comes that you're in severe pain and you can replace that filling yourself, it'll be a blessing.
We need to get as much stocked up on the first aid as we can. Tablets, bandages, painkillers, anything. You just never know when you're going to be sick.
We're buying a couple of boxes each and every time we go, aren't we?
Yeah. Every time we go, we buy a couple of paracetamol. We can only buy 2 boxes at a time in any one shop in case you overdose. But you can go next door to the next shop and buy another 2, and then next door to the next shop and buy another 2.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And that's mold spreads, goes on your clothes, furniture, everything.
Yeah, and them spores, they just spread and spread. Yeah, it's awful.
And we've told them to get onto the landlord and sort it.
It's a private rent house. But they're never quick off the mark, these private landlords, are they?
So we've got to prep for our health and prep for our food.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me. Uncross my legs. Yeah, hydrogen peroxide. We got some of that as well, didn't we, as a disinfectant? Do any of you use the hydrogen peroxide, or do you have that in your first aid kit? There are now pop-up dentists called Just Polly. People who don't want to do all the success of dentistry and cost line up in the morning, pay cash. Some have insurance, 125 and 75 a tooth. Wow.
It's always if you can afford to do that.
That's it. That's still a lot of money.
Mm.
So what projects did you work on this week? I saw your videos and I loved them. As you know, I cannot wait when your videos come up. What 4 projects you think you'll be doing this week? I'm hoping to do a video on, that was Tessie who asked that question. I'm hoping to do a video this week on how I clean with the white vinegar and bicarbonate of soda and dishwashing soap, washing up liquids. And I've got a gist of an idea of how to do that video. I've used it. I know you don't like particularly cleaning with vinegar in your home, Tessie, but it's something that I've done on a regular basis. I must admit, I don't do it as much during the colder months because I can't air the room with the windows open. So I tend to use...
It doesn't smell for long anyway, does it?
Yeah,
as soon as it dries,
just washing up liquid, or occasionally from the food initiatives, if I can pick up a clean and spray, I will use those. It's not something I'd purchase out my own money necessarily. But yeah, I do slow down with the vinegar use during the winter months when I can't open the windows.
But it only smells when it's wet. As soon as it's dry, you can't.
But my skirting boards and my paintwork in my living room, with it being white, I feel it needs going over now, and I do that with white vinegar. And I tend to mop the floors with white vinegar as well.
And Lockie's saying she uses hydrogen peroxide and Tanette as well.
It breaks down easily. I haven't put a lot away, more alcohol. Well, we found it quite difficult to buy the hydrogen peroxide in a chemist. And we could only get the 3%.
And it's
6%, sorry. We were asking for 9%, and we could only get 1 bottle at a time. When we were going back to ask for it the following week, we were told they'd have none in, so we were managing to get a bottle a month. Well, sometimes by the time the month's gone, you've used that small bottle you were able to get in the first place. Yeah, so there's been some difficulty getting it. But yeah, Tessie, that's one video I have in mind, and we're hoping to try and get out in the garden. We keep saying this, and then the weather gets colder, but we're hoping to get out in the garden.
It's been a bit milder the last couple of days, but they're saying again the week after next we're in for snow and ice, and so hopefully we've got next week to do that.
Yeah, we want to make some croutons out of the bread rolls.
Yeah, we've got a few things to make in the kitchen.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got a big haul there on Tuesday. We're still going through the bread baguettes. We've just had 2 each tonight. Garlic bread and pizza.
Saturday night treats. He just did us, Mr. Wallflowers cooked bread pizzas, as he's just said, with the pickled gherkin on, with the prosciutto and a little bit of salami. There was some black olives, but there's also some beans in tomato sauce that were left over from lunch yesterday. So we did a layer of them on as well. Oh, so tasty, all the different ingredients. It was lovely. Some nice red onion on it. It was absolutely delicious.
Nice cheese. What's Mr. Wallflowers going to surprise us with?
He has plenty of recipes up his sleeve.
What did you end up doing with the sprouted peas? We haven't planted them yet.
No, that is one thing that also needs to be done this week before they do rot off. They will be planted this week. Do you want to grab the lettuce? The seedlings that we planted, I don't want to upset the radiator and pull the curtains out, but the seedlings are all coming up from what we planted just over a week ago. We forgot to water this one, so it got watered a couple of days ago, and I don't know if you can see them very good, but the lettuces are just appearing now. They're on south-facing window. We don't want to drown them too much, so we're just giving them a sprinkling of water.
Quite a few coming through.
They're actually coming through for us. So the seedlings are coming up bit by bit. When you're closing the curtains a lot, because the sun's not shining through when it's cold weather, you seem to forget about them. So that's what we did for a couple of days. There was no sun actually. This is a south-facing window, and there was no sun coming through it. So the windows were near enough shut for 2 whole days, and we completely forgot about anything being on the window ledge. So I'm hoping for the sun to shine so we can have the curtains open and let some daylight in. Of course, to block the excess of the cold coming in, I keep the curtains shut when there's no sun. Hi, Tinkerer's wife from Northwest Oregon. A couple of crown left to. Those are the worst. Now I can eat more than soup yet. I keep waiting patiently, and I phone the dentist quite often and ask if I'm any closer to actually just getting on the waiting list. The myriad of excuses as to why not, but yeah, I don't particularly suffer toothache. I just suffer that it doesn't look pleasant, and sometimes it doesn't sound too pleasant with the loss of them. We do have oil of clothes should we have toothache. And as Mr. Wallflowers has just said, we've got the dentist refill. So these are the peas now. And the shoots are still on them, but they're looking slightly dry. So it looks like I'm probably going to have to plant them, sow them tomorrow. So they'll be done on an inside window ledge. And I have some some pots that are called root trainers. So they go particularly deep to train the roots to grow, and you water from underneath. So the roots search down to actually get the water to feed the plant. And that's what I'm going to use to sow the peas inside. It's called a root trainer. Mr. Wallflowers up and down, trying to get everything to show you. Well, that's quite a topical subject at the moment. Anne's saying she heard these are the root trainers. If I could just show you this first before I move on to Anne. So basically, you plant in there, but they're quite long, and it just soaks up the water from the bottom. but it'll train the roots to grow, so you get nice healthy roots on, which will then give you a much stronger pea plant, or whichever plants you grow in. There's quite a few of them in a tray, so other things will be planted in that need a much longer root. So yes, and as I was saying about the weather, Anne's just said she's heard we're getting a late spring this year and hopes that doesn't mess up the growing times. A few people are saying we might not get a summer this year, and the projections are, I think they said it was 1816. I think that was the year that we didn't get a summer. And there's projections that might happen again this year, which will of course have big severe problems for any of us trying to grow food in our gardens or our allotments, and of course all the farmers. But of course the chemical growing food that's actually grown inside in a factory under the lights will be the only food that we can then get in the supermarket or wherever we choose to shop. So I'm hoping against hope that doesn't happen and we can have a successful growing year. So we're still going to grow our seedlings, we're still going to sow our seeds, and we're going to hope that doesn't happen this year and that we are successful. But there are a lot of rumours that are saying there won't be a summer.
I mean, things are starting to sprout now. People are saying that we might not get a spring, but we've got things sprouting now. There's leaves on a few of the bushes out there. So just depends how severe we get in February, really.
February is normally the coldest, isn't it?
Is there a better brand than the other one with Temp? Yeah, there's all different brands of it. You can get them the supermarket's own, or that was just the first one I come across. What's wrong with Temp? I've never.
Taness, when your seedlings get leggy, if you just prick them out and then tweeze it back in lower, put the leggy part underneath your compost or underneath your soil,
bury it a bit deeper.
And bury it a bit deeper, that leggy part will just become root and it'll strengthen the rest of the plants, and then the rest of the plants will be thicker and stronger. So just do a 2-stage there and just bury it a bit lower. That works. Fingers crossed we get a good summer. I've drawn up where my seeds are going to be going this year. I need to get out there and do a clean up and wash down the inside of the greenhouse. I need to do such a good clean up.
We've got loads of clean up to do.
We've got lots of weeding to do.
There's still loads of leaves lying around.
Yeah.
All needs raked up and put in the compost. We just can't get out there.
We've been saying we're going to trim the apple tree, cut back the apple tree, cut back the pear tree, and do a proper tidy up. And that's what I was saying. We possibly could be doing a video this week in the garden as we cut back the fruit trees. It's just me being able to deal with the cold.
Need to clad some of them beds as well.
Yeah. So the raised beds that we've told you a few times are divan single bed bases. They need to be clad with pallet wood. That's a job Mr. Wallflowers does, and it's quite hard work, isn't it, really? Considering if you've been out at work all day and then you're coming back and having to cut and saw the wood and hack it on.
But it's worth it.
Oh, you're welcome. I learned that tip a few years ago about burying them deeper, and it really does work, you know, especially when you think you've lost everything and they just fall over. If you can just catch them in time and repot them.
Especially with your tomatoes as well. Do that with your tomatoes.
That happens a lot with our tomatoes, doesn't it? We repot them. Repotting's the game when you're sowing seeds inside, especially when that length of time becomes longer and longer because you're waiting to get past those.
You've got to keep on top of it when they're inside because of the heat. And then some days you forget and
That's what I was just saying about forgetting they're on the window ledge to water them already. For 28 of them. I just bought new slats for my Super King bed, 70 quid.
For 20.
For 28. That's probably a good price, isn't it?
Don't know.
What are you paying? Just a little over £2. A little over £2.
If that had been us, we'd have looked on the marketplace on Facebook and tried to get a new bed for free.
Or the slats even,
yeah.
because the slats seem to be
Or
on the
base or
marketplace
something.
free, or the Facebook free pages.
It's either very cold or very hot here. We can't put plants out till May. We can't really put plants out till May, the end of April, May.
Last week in April is our last frost date. As I've mentioned before, Garden Focused. I don't know if they do an American version or a Canadian version, but the UK version of Garden Focused is absolutely fabulous, and it'll give you your zone. Because in the UK, we don't call areas zones. We primarily hear that coming from Americans. But on Garden Focused, they would actually tell us what zone we were classed as. So where we live is classed as a zone 3. And last week in April is our last frost. So Tessie, we tend to do well right up till the end of October, really. As soon as we get to the last couple of weeks in October, then it drops dramatically. But we're still picking tomatoes at the end of October.
Hi guys. You missed your shout out earlier. May to October.
Yeah, really good. So it's the same zone. Are you classed as a zone 3 where you are, Tessie?
Yeah, we just give you the shout out. Hi to everyone.
A shout out to all the members.
I can't believe it's nearly February.
I know, it's flown over this year. It really has, hasn't it?
Not too. Once February's over, that's the countdown then. It's into spring then, aren't we?
I feel the sunshine on our faces, hopefully. I can't wait for that. At the minute, I've got garlic cloves sitting upright in dishes on wet toilet tissue. They are sprouting and growing decent roots. Once stronger, I'll get them planted outside. Yeah. Or you could actually do the toilet roll thing if that works for you, and plant them up in some compost, and then plant that toilet roll and your garlic within the toilet roll, and that should biodisintegrate. And you're not disturbing the roots you've then made with your garlic. So the zones must be different for the states, I'm guessing. Well, as I say, we didn't normally have zones. I've never known classifications of zones in the UK. I've only known that referred to in America. But on this particular site, I'm talking about Garden Focused, it actually breaks it down into zones. So I thought our zone 3 would reflect kind of the same temperatures or the same growing season, not the same temperatures, but the same growing seasons.
Yeah, it probably does, because on the map we're like pretty similar to New York and around that area, aren't we?
In what way?
Where the UK is, where we are in the UK, across, we're on about the same latitude as like New York and.
So would you think they possibly have got a
kind
3?
Of zone with the same. Whereas like Florida or places like that are further down, so they're closer to the equator and getting hotter than what we do.
So that's what make it a different zone. Oh, is that what you're doing, guys? You're a DJ at the Doo-Wop Cafe.
Doo-Wop.
Doo-Wop. Doo-Wop. That sounds good.
Have you got a quiff?
In my younger days, when I was quite punky, I was classed as a rockabilly punk, and I often had a quiff. Yeah, a female version.
He's got a quiff. Florida produces all the veg and fruits for the East Coast.
When it's winter everywhere else, our planting season is backward of everyone else. We're drowning in strawberries. Jealous much?
You can't beat the climbers in Florida, can you?
Peaches, oranges, everything. Yeah. I say we went to Florida twice, didn't we? So
loved it.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Washington DC is more northern than here, but the growing season is longer.
What were you talking about politically with the guy? What was his position?
He was the Chancellor.
So the Chancellor in the UK government.
He's called Nadeem Sahawi. He's not the Chancellor now, but he sold his shares worth 27 million and he hid them from the taxman. He put it in an offshore account, and this is our Chancellor. He's being fined and he's had to pay, the tax have fined him and he's had to pay some of it back. So he's ended up having to pay 4.8 million back to the taxman in fines and what he owed. And yet he's still in a government position. He's not the Chancellor now, but he's still in some kind of government position. They've sacked him. Oh, I haven't seen that they've sacked him.
No, have they sacked him then?
I heard Rishi the other day saying he was defending him in the House of Commons when he was being questioned over it. But,
so they were his own shares, or he stole that?
No, they were his own shares in a government fund or something. So he sold them for 27 million and just put it in an offshore account so he didn't have to pay the tax, UK tax, what he's the Chancellor of.
Our Chancellor, our government taxing us to the absolute hilt, hid that money so he didn't have to pay tax. What a hypocritical bunch they seem to be. Do as I say, not as I do.
But even our Prime Minister's got offshore bank accounts and he's a non-dom, so he doesn't pay tax on that, him and his wife. But yeah, if we owe a little bit of tax, they'll be coming knocking at the door for it.
They all know what they're doing, and obviously he knew what he was doing. He'd have had to plan that ahead. He'd have had to sort it all out, sign the documents. He'd have actually planned it step by step, exactly.
But he said it was just, he'd forgot about it when he was filling his tax form. You just forget about the £27 million that you've just sold.
Mark said if they sack him, his next job will be CEO of the Bank of England. It's so bizarre, we have to laugh, isn't it?
And that's only what we heard of. What are they getting away with?
That's what they're allowing
the
to be released.
Yeah.
If they're allowing that to be released, how much is actually happening? It completely is, Mother Wolf. It's absolutely rife. Do as I say, not as I do.
Corruption's everywhere, the police and everything. We've seen that bit in America, a lad died or something, 5 police officers battered them or something. That's the new one. I think there's a bit of riots going on in America at the minute. A couple of days ago, it was a black lad again, but it was 5 black police officers who attacked him and killed him. And there was a video on, I seen yesterday.
It's not actually installed yet, Kate. We're just waiting for it to be installed.
The which?
Kate's asking about the security system. The lights are up.
Yeah.
The lights are up. And if you step anywhere near the gate, the lights come on and shine blazingly. So the lights are all in place.
Replaced all the bulbs.
There's more locks in place on the gates, on the doors, absolutely everything.
Padlocks on the gates.
So we're just waiting for the security cameras to be installed now.
That's this week.
least by me, somewhere is going to be terrible.
And we're okay, Kate.
Yeah, we're all right. Yeah.
But like a few Facebook posts from the local area have been saying the same. They found somebody climbing over the fence last night somewhere when they went to let the dog out.
Yeah, a lady went into the back garden to let her dog out to go to the toilet, and as she just popped her head out, there was somebody trying to step over a gate.
That's it, as we said, it's only going to get
A
worse.
few stories locally of what's been going on. And all the areas seem to be dotted
CCTV
about
as well.
locally where we live as well. So
As a semi-detached, we're on the end of a row, so we've got a neighbour that side, but not this side. But as we said, that's the only thing that's ever happened since we've been here, and we've been here 18 years. So
yeah. That's why we were so shocked it did happen, weren't we?
yeah. Well, people are getting desperate now, and it's only going to get worse.
Just before the lights went up, before the locks got put on everything, we did come home again after that incident and found the garden gate open. And we were really, really worried. But luckily, when we'd come home that day, we had the locks and we had the lights. So everything was installed then, and nothing's happened since. I can't stand the Tories, says Lorraine. They've now been saying stay-at-home mothers need to go back to work because they bring nothing to the economy. I'm a stay-at-home mummy and my boy is autistic. There's many reasons that people are stay-at-home mums, autism, disabilities, or just because that's your way of life. You want to make sure that your child can speak, can fend for themselves, or just educate themselves because you don't want them in the system. It's up to stay-at-home mums. It's their choice. It's their child. If they want to educate them at home or they want to care for them at home, it's your choice. A mother should not be forced back to work. If a mother wants to go to work, that's her choice.
But yeah, you'll get a politician who's on 70 grand a year telling
you do. You already work so hard in the home, looking after your child, looking after your home, educating your child. You do. Yeah, completely agree.
And houses are always more subject to break-ins. And mid-terrace has happened once that my cat attacked the guy. You'll have to get a cat then. The big tiger. You should be allowed to educate them at home.
There are children, you know. When you sign that birth certificate, it's supposed to be the legal writ of saying you're signing them over to the system. Do you know what I mean? But that child, it's a weird way of saying it, but that child is our property. You know, it's up to us how we care. We're responsible for that child. You know, it's up to us.
So the DWP want the retirees to go back to work.
That's right, Cindy. Cindy's saying childcare is expensive. It often doesn't pay.
Yeah,
so I worked in an insurance office when Oscar was just a baby. And I had to pay £500 a month for childcare.
And by the time you get your wage,
on top of that, I had to pay transport to get to and from work, which was just over 2 towns away, so it was quite expensive for me to get there and back. And it must have cost me about £800, £500 for childcare, £300 for travel. And I was on a good wage, don't get me wrong, I was on a really good wage, but it was only just about worth it. What was worth it was my mental space and my ability to be able to go to work, because that's what I needed as a person at that time. With my first, I stayed at home with him till he went to school. If it had been now, with how I think and where I'm up to, I'd have probably stayed home with both of my children all
I
the
think
way
you
through.
need to stay at home, especially up until like 5 or 6. Hi, Maxine. You don't have to say sorry, you're a member. You don't need a note.
Special treatment now, Mr.
You
Wallflowers.
don't need a note, Maxine.
You missed your shout out though, love. We always give you a shout out on the Saturday Night Lives. Who was it last week that was laughing all the time about the nose? Yeah, so cooking and prepping. There's been a lot of people saying there's no room to prep or they should stop. It's really not the climate to stop, is it? It's really not the time to stop preparing medicine, stop preparing food, stop preparing your finances. It's not the time to stop. We've just got to keep on going, haven't we?
When we done the supermarket shop, we don't go to supermarkets, so that was the first we'd done for a while. And a lot of the shelves were empty. It was noticeable that they were a lot empty, wasn't it?
Yeah. We've never seen them that empty when we popped in from.
As soon as you used to pick something off the shelf, the store thing would be there, putting another one straight in as soon as you took it off. But there was a lot of empty spaces.
All right, Peerless. We'll see you when you get back, hopefully. And I hope that you get that gift that you're looking for and it's something special from you. Have a lovely day, love.
You made the decision to remove.
Wow. And how are you finding that solo? Do you think you're better off that way, or are you going to get false teeth? Did you get false teeth? What's your plan with that?
I mean, our parents had all the teeth out in the 40s, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had false teeth in the 40s.
Both sets of parents. Yeah.
And a lot of people did. It seems as soon as they come to 40, they were in the dentist and they were out, and then they were given false teeth. But yeah, we're mid-50s now. We've still got all our teeth, and even though we have problems, but we've still got most of our teeth. At least we haven't got a full set of false teeth.
Well, that's better. That's better. And if you find it much easier and you're okay with it, it's about you. Yeah, good on you.
So there's nothing worse than pain in your teeth or your ears
or your bones. You can't
it's nothing worse than pain.
Yeah. See, some of it's bearable pain, what you call functionable pain, and some of it just completely wipes you out, doesn't it? Tires you. Yeah, a lot of us are struggling, Frugal Joe.
You're not going to find a dentist. They keep building houses and houses and expanding, and yet shutting the schools, and no more dentists, no more doctors, and there's just an influx of people.
Miss Chocolat Babka. Hello. Oh, good on you, Anne. And how did you manage to get an appointment? Anne's at the dentist. She's just showing off now. Anne's got an appointment. 1st of February.
My teeth are wrecked by the NHS as a teenager, BCTV.
Bridget. £1,200 to have a couple of teeth pulled. It's so expensive. As I say, I looked at possibly going private because time is dragging on now. It's a long time. And I try and pick myself up. I try not to be negative and down about it. I try just to get on with it, because being down about it isn't going to change the situation. It's not going to make it change quickly. So we looked at the private prices, and it was £75 to £85 just for the initial consultation. That's without any work done. That's just for them to look at it, and just to have the two here at the front, possibly crowned, was £2,500. So along with the appointments. You might as well call that another £100. So it was £2,600.
to £3,000.
Then whatever other appointments they needed to do, because I need work and my mouth full stop. So we're talking over £3,000, and that just isn't realistic for us, is it? Sadly, there's nothing more I'd love to turn up and go, ching, do you know what I mean? And not to worry about it again. But the day will come when it'll get dealt with. Just have to be patient. The good Lord wants it done, he'll do it for me. He will. So I've just got to be patient. There's enough to get us down. We just have to keep stepping over it and stepping over it and stepping over it.
They just want to bring us down.
Okay, tonight we'll see you soon, love. Thanks for joining us tonight. No thanks, guys. I don't fancy anyone hitting me in the face. I'll be okay with that, love. Don't worry. Nice offer, but not for me, thank you. We did the piece of string with one I had to get removed, didn't we? And it didn't work. So in the end, I teaseled it out bit by bit.
Yeah, it took a while.
It did take a while, but I couldn't even get an appointment to have that done. So yeah, we're just looking at treating ourselves until we can do with everything else.
Yeah, with the door.
Yeah, with the door. We did try it, yeah. You know, desperation calls for desperate measures, you know, and we did go there. The NHS is finished, isn't it, says Bridget. I have thought about private insurance, but I think with my history, it's going to cost a fortune. I mean, they'll look at the disabilities and they'll look at everything else and they'll say, well, how cost effective is that over so many years? And sadly, Bridget, that's, you know, they're not looking at it as a human, a person or anything like that. It's all money signs in their eyes and that's it. Yeah.
It's the same with the doctors. The doctors are getting paid for the medical things that they're supplying you with. They're getting paid off the companies that are supplying them. Yeah.
So I'd say it does cost a fortune, and she used to get dental hygienist every year, but the price is ouch. Yeah.
I mean, we were with the same dentist for 20 years.
More since childhood.
And because we haven't been for like 2 or 3 years.
Well, it was 18 months they signed us off the books because there was an influx in the area and they had too many people on the books. And then we had the COVID and we had everything else. And they were overrun. I can appreciate things build up. But, you know, when we've
better
actually
to have people on your books that aren't there every week going, oh, can you do this? Can you do this? At least, like, we weren't blocking their books up.
And they were getting paid good money because we had to pay for that treatment anyway. Although it's national health, we had to pay. We were paying £65. Yeah. We were paying £85.
£30 for the checkup on the NHS.
Yeah. So they were getting paid for it. It's not like they weren't getting paid for having us on the books kind of thing, you know?
Wheelchair costs £7,000.
Wow, couldn't imagine having to pay that price, Bridget. Really couldn't.
And that's a necessity.
Your one looks like a super one as well, the way you zoom around in it, love. Honestly. Yeah, for no reason, you know. It's crazy, Anne. So, we're being asked what delights are you going to cook this week?
I don't know. I have to have a look at the ingredients of what we've got and come up with something. That's the best thing when you don't know and you get all the ingredients together and you take a look and you go,
have a ponder.
Yeah.
What can I make?
I'll knock this up, see what this is like.
Hi, Mary Beth.
I mean, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but it's very rare that they don't.
Mr. Wallflowers doesn't eat chicken, Gaz. He doesn't
Mm.
eat chicken, beef. He'll eat fish, most types of fish. He'll eat pork.
I'll eat beef burgers.
He likes lamb.
No, I only like the mince.
Well, you like the minced lamb. And he likes processed meat. But he won't eat chicken or beef or a steak or chops or
I like hot dogs.
any of them good stuff.
Casserole with dumplings. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
He makes a lovely casserole. And some
We could do
dumplings.
the sea bass stew.
Yeah. Has anyone here made sea bass stew? Fish stew?
Some mess.
You're a
It's not
crazy
Breaking
dude.
Bad.
You're a crazy dude, Mark.
I'll show you how to make some crystal meth.
I don't think you will.
I don't know how to make it. Anyway.
Yeah, we did the fish pie. And what did we use for that? We used the salmon and haddock.
Cod.
Was it cod? Did I call it haddock at the time? I don't know why. See, this is what I think. But sea bass stew is a proper stew, but it's a fish stew and it's delicious.
Big chunks of sea bass in it.
Mm.
You could do that with dumplings. Or...
Yeah, that'd be nice. That. Some dill. Yeah, look, we're back to the food, aren't we? We always have to cover the food. It always has to be food orientated. Yeah. We're stuffed now at the moment because, as I say, we had pizza and garlic bread for tea. So we're stuffed now. Almost like oyster stew. I don't know. I've not had oyster stew. I don't think I've ever even had
we
oysters.
had an oyster. I brought an oyster home once from work years ago. And we had that.
Did we eat it raw?
Yeah, no, we cooked it. It was nice.
I can't remember. Yeah, I like mackerel, Bridget. Mackerel's beautiful. We like our fish, don't we?
We had this sardines with rice the other day, didn't we?
Oh, pilchards and rice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that quite regularly, pilchards and rice. Lentil curry. I did the lentil
lentils.
jambalaya. That's on one of the videos. I did that probably
Lentils
a couple of
are
months
lovely.
ago now. The green lentils in particular are beautiful, aren't they? Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. So I didn't go shopping yesterday. So I missed out on the extra fresh vegetables that we would have normally cooked with this weekend. So have to wait till Tuesday now to get the next lot of fresh vegetables. I love clam chowder. Went to Boston many years back, and the best clam chowder I've ever tasted. See, we've not tasted anything like that, Mother Wolf.
I'll have a look into that. Though.
Yeah.
Chowder.
You'd have to get the clams from work, and they'd be expensive there, though, wouldn't they?
And clams aren't that to you. I'll have a look at them.
Sounds it.
See what we can come up with.
Yeah. It's experimentation, and as you say, just working with what we've got and what we normally do, throw it together, isn't it? And we come up with a different meal each time, really, don't we? Frugal Joe likes it as well. Very nice.
Oh, BCTV is a member now. We haven't been informed of that.
Oh, we haven't been told you remember, Bridget. Has it accepted you? Must have accepted you, Bridget, and we haven't been informed of it yet. Have you just done that tonight, or have you done it before tonight, love?
Because we checked before we come on, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look at that clam chowder. Everyone's saying it's nice, isn't it?
Fave meal of all time.
Hi, Sherry. Good to have you here.
My go-to was always...
Hi, Christina.
Always a fry up a mixed grill. And And, you know, to say what's your favourite meal, it probably is a mixed
fry up,
grill,
yeah.
a fry up.
Yeah.
But meal-wise, my best meal I've ever had out was Vietnamese.
Thanks, Bridget.
Vietnamese spring rolls are an absolute luxury in my eyes. Really miniature tiny fishes in spring rolls and delicate vegetables and a lovely Vietnamese sauce. So an out meal would be Vietnamese. Inside, I say it.
Smoked salmon lasagna.
Smoked salmon lasagna is
with the garlic bread.
The family favourite. It always has been, hasn't it?
Mm.
And they vary how it turns out on the day, doesn't it? Sometimes they turn out really thick and lush, and other days they turn out thinner. It just depends on what ingredients we've got and how much. But yeah, we love our food. It doesn't matter what it is. What's your favourite meal, Gaz?
Fish and chips. Yeah. Like fish and chips.
Thank you, Bridget. Thanks for that.
Beans
love.
on toast. You can't beat beans on toast.
Yeah, you can't. A couple of fried eggs on top.
And mayo. Or salad cream. Salad cream goes nice with it.
With what? Beans?
Beans. Yeah.
See my face then. Oh, no. We all like different tastes, don't we? Smoked salmon lasagna sounds amazing. Not tried that. We've done a recipe, a video on it, Bridget, so there's one there. But we've made it for many, many years. As I say, you can make a lasagna with anything, either just vegetables, either a tin of soup, hot dogs, mincemeat is what we're used to making it with. But any types of fish, anything at all, anything you have, you can make a lasagna out of. It's so versatile. I know we're like this every week, aren't we, guys? Food.
Stone crab claws. Have you seen the size of them stone crab claws?
Hi, Carol.
Oh, Carol, where's your nose? Come on.
You're late, Carol. My absolute favourite is lobster, but fish and chips is good too. Now, you brought a lobster home one time, didn't you?
It was just a lot of work.
But it was live, wasn't it? It was live, and you have to boil it while it's live. And I just didn't like the motion of it at all. Well, you brought two home, didn't you?
Yeah. It's not really a cooking food channel. We just get sidetracked.
He brought two live lobsters home, tied up, and we put one in the pan. And the screeching and the noise and the agitation out of it, it was horrific, you know. And I'm not a vegetarian. I am a meat eater, and I'll always be a meat eater. Anyway, we'd done it. We took it out, and you had to hit it with the hammer, and you had to de-shell it and everything. For the little bit of meat we got off it, it was an absolute nuisance. And it was tasty, the little bit we got, but it was just too much like hard work. So I actually offered the second one to the neighbours next door. We have a different neighbour now. This is quite a few years ago. She was a school teacher. And she was so overjoyed that we gave her this lobster. She was having a party a couple of nights later, and she kept it for that. Yeah, but she was absolutely made up, wasn't she?
Too much work for us.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark's getting hungry. He's off to the kitchen to get some big chocolate buttons.
We do a low spend every month, Lorraine. Lorraine's asking, are we doing a low spend February? I just did a video, was it last week? So basically everybody does the no spend January. And sometimes it's not through choice. Sometimes it's because means of overspending at Christmas doesn't allow us to spend much in January. So it's not much of a stretch of imagination to have a no spend January. So it's quite popular.
I mean, we're saying a no spend year, but because of the camera system that we've got to get
already had to spend for the camera.
Yeah, we haven't got it yet, Mary Beth. It's coming this week.
So we haven't had a no spend January, but it's classed as an amenity for the house and a necessity. So it's whichever way we choose to look at it. But to us, we're already £50 out the budget. So we bought a
because of
couple
the
of extras for
because of the
health.
monetisation, it's going to cover it, so we're
Yeah,
not too bad.
we've received our first amount of monetisation, which isn't an awful lot. Because it's the very first month.
Because YouTube take half of it, and
But
then
we're
the
very
tax man
grateful
take
for what
half
it
of it.
is. We're very grateful for what it is. Yeah, we worked out YouTube actually take 45%, and then on the 55% that you actually receive, you then tax 20% on top of that. So we're not expecting great fortunes
So we ended
from
up with
it, but
35% of everything
we're
what we've
grateful
earned.
for everything that we do get, and we're trying to use it as wisely as possible. So as far as February goes, we don't have any plans to go out for a meal or to buy anything extra or to do anything glamorous. If we need something, we'll have to buy it. But that doesn't just apply to February, that applies to the whole year for us, and it's how we live all year round. If it comes to birthdays, we like to go out for a meal, or we like to prepare a picnic or get a takeaway, and we'll go and sit by the beach, or we'll go and sit in the woodlands, or we'll go and find an outside space that we can enjoy. We'll either watch the sun go down, or depending on what time of day we've got free on those birthdays, we'll do an outside activity. We'll go for a walk around some ruins. And if that's out of town, then we end up eating in a cafe or something like that. But we don't go to expensive places, but that's our big treat if we do go out. But it tends only to be celebrations, doesn't it? We don't do that on a
No,
regular
Frugal Joe,
basis.
that wasn't self-assessment. That came through before we even got it. It was USA tax 20%, and they took their 20% out before we even got it through the AdSense.
So once we declare that on top of work wages here, we'll probably
Yeah,
be
we'll probably get taxed again over
here
here.
on it. Yeah. So, but we enjoy doing it. We enjoy doing it, and whatever
We
little
don't do it for the
get,
money.
whatever little we do get from it will help us a great deal. You know, we're hoping to make a donation to the food bank. We're hoping to do that on the next payment. And we'll just really have to look at the amount that comes in to see what amount we can actually donate. But some will be given to the food bank because we've given our solemn promise, haven't we? So we'll be doing it some way.
That's what we thought, Frugal Joe, but there was money in the AdSense and it told us how much we were going to get. And yeah, went in the bank and it was 40 quid less.
Hi, Destiny.
And then when we looked in the AdSense, it said USA tax. We'll have to look into that then.
Well, maybe we're getting taxed and we shouldn't be. There's 20%. Still
Yeah, well, we lost
money,
40 quid from what they said they were going to give us, didn't we?
And where are you based, Frugal Joe?
She's only in Yorkshire, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. And you, I don't get that then if you don't pay any taxes. So you just literally pay the 45% what YouTube take before you get yours, and then the rest is yours. Oh, that sounds lovely. Barbecue bacon burger. Oh, I didn't know it was your birthday, Destiny. Happy birthday, love.
Happy birthday.
Dirt Road Destiny.
She's late though. It's an excuse. If it's your birthday, we'll let you know.
Too busy playing with the chickens.
Yeah.
I really enjoy seeing how you live frugally and how you throw your hands to meals depending on what you get from the Food Initiative. I wish there was one near me. I'd definitely go to it. Where are you based, Lorraine?
There are different food initiatives. It's not just the community grocer. Or
there is a box to check for some treaty thing, which means people in the UK don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, we filled all that in, and it says we didn't. And then when it comes through from the AdSense into the bank account, it was 40 quid less. And then when we went on the AdSense, it told us it was US tax.
Where's Suffolk? Haverhill?
Suffolk,
Suffolk?
Ipswich way.
I'm sure there should be something. Have you put in food pantries in your local area into Google search or DuckDuckGo or whatever search you use, and just have a look what facilities are there? A lot of them are saving food from landfill facilities. They may be called food pantries. They may be called different things. There are a lot of food banks, but the food initiatives and the food pantries I'm referring to are not food banks. They're open to every and anyone.
There should be some by here. They're popping up everywhere now.
There's a few more people using them. There was a lady in Australia, I can't remember her name. If you don't, forgive me for forgetting your name. But she actually searched in her area and she found one exactly the same as the ones I use here. And she's now a volunteer working there. And she's getting the benefits of the discount prices as well. And it's such a fabulous story to hear, you know, and that's the other end of the world to us, you know what I mean? That's Australia, and she's able to do it, you know.
She's saying there's one in Ipswich, but that's quite far.
You're very welcome, Destiny. Have a lovely day, love.
Surely there should be one in Cambridge, though. Cambridge is a big place.
If you write Suffolk down,
we'll have a look.
I'll have a look. I've Googled for a couple of people and found them in their areas. They're not always the community grocers that I go to, you know, the exact brand of shop, but usually there's a facility like that somewhere along the way.
I mean, even at your food bank, you should ask them if they sell the food, because they might not always advertise it. Or
the food bank here that we go to, to sometimes help, they have one section where they give
food. Christina in Australia.
Hi, Christina. Yeah, I was so buzzing for you, love. That's absolutely fabulous. She's in Ipswich in Australia, and she has one. You know, it's amazing. And communication, and we both got there. It's fabulous. But the food bank here where we live, there's one whole section that's for the food bank, and them grocery bags are given to those people. But there's also a shop floor, which are items, bread, vegetables, toiletries.
Because a lot of the food banks do get that much.
And they open it, and that's
so
open
they can
to
sell
the
it
public,
off. So
and
they can
sell it, and we shop there quite regularly to make sure they've got the money
and
to run the establishment and keep it going. Yeah. So make a note of that. It's called a tax treaty that the UK has with the US, so you don't have to pay tax to the US. Well, we'll take another look at that.
It was only when it went in the bank the other day that we were 40 quid short.
From the estimated, yeah.
Yeah, look into them.
Thank you.
Because it's coming from YouTube USA. That's where the money's coming from. So they say, well, that's what they told us.
Yeah, we will. We'll definitely look at that Frugal Joe and we'll examine it, because it's a big difference. You know, a lot could have been done with that £40. An awful lot. You know, I don't even spend that a month on shopping. I don't. So that's how much it is to us, you know. I'm not sure what that says, Pavel, but hi.
That's Russian, isn't it?
It looks Russian, yeah. I'll say it looks Russian. It could be anything to me. I don't know. Can you claim the tax back through your local tax office? See, we don't know. It's just our first stage. So we're going to do this and take a look at it this way and see if it's prevented. If it can't be prevented, then so be it. It just has to be what we do, but we'll see. Do I craft? I don't do crafts as in sewing, knitting, or macrame or anything like that. But I do DIY in the home. So I paint furniture So the Welsh dresser behind, you can see that was a full wooden Welsh dresser.
Sure.
I painted that, and I've painted some other furniture. I'll take things apart and reassemble them myself, or I'll varnish the wood, and I'll frame different things, but not crafts as in crafts. I do updos. So when recycling something, I'll see if I can recreate something out of that for something else. So although I like to think I'm creative, I don't see myself as a crafter in the way people relate to crafting. Does that make sense? What do you craft, Mary Beth? Do you craft? Good night, Frugal Joe. Lovely chatting to you, and thank you so much for your advice. Sometimes I don't even spend that much. Sherry's asking, how do you only spend £40 a month on food? So I shop at the food initiatives, and on my last shop and haul video, you will see I shopped at 3 separate food initiatives, and I got a massive haul, and it came to, I think it was £12.72 if I remember correctly. And that was a big shop for me. Some weeks I might just spend £5 or £6 one day, £5 at the end of the week. Most often I don't spend up to £40 on shopping for a month. Sometimes I can do slightly over if I'm doing a bigger shop, but they're about £40 and just under is my shopping cost needs for a month. Out of that is enough food to feed us for a month, enough food for me to send parcels to the boys to keep them fed, food that'll store in the freezers, food that'll store in the pantry, and plenty to go around.
As much as we can.
And preserve it. Yeah. I don't spend an awful lot.
Whereabouts are you, Sherry? Did you say?
How much do you spend, Sherry?
I mean, we done the food shop in the Asda the other day.
The boys enjoyed that fruit leather.
We had a £20 vouchers to shop in the Asda, and we bought 6 or 7 things in the trolley, and it was £20. Leicester. Have a look in Leicester if there's any food initiatives, any saving food from landfill.
We get so much fresh vegetables that we
free bread.
We can create stews, we can create bakes, we can create big meals, and some of them can be 2 to 4 days food for the 2 of us. So you're talking the bulk of the week for one meal, and we've still got fresh vegetables to create further meals.
I mean, we opened a tin of corned beef, and it lasted 3 days in one meal and 3 days in another. So that was 1 tin of corned beef for a week's food.
And it depends, Sherry. Is there more than yourself? Is there a partner? Is the children? You know, obviously, when the boys were home, it had cost me a lot more because that food wouldn't stretch as far.
There's only us 2 now, so.
And plus, they never stopped eating. They had hollow legs. Well, they still have. My shopping is probably £35 a month. I don't really do a monthly shop. It's usually about 7 weeks. And is that just for yourself, Bridget? Or is that for you and a partner?
Just myself and an adult son.
Yeah, so you know, if you could find a food initiative, you know, save you an absolute fortune.
Suffolk and Leicester.
Yeah.
Surely there are some around there.
And do you have any of these facilities available to you, Bridget?
Pizza and noodles.
Yeah, typical boy. And do you make any of them yourself? Do you make the pizza yourself, or does your son make pizza? Mr. Wallflowers did a video not so long ago where he quickly made his own pizza dough, garlic bread dough, You know, cost next to nothing.
I mean, we done it tonight. We just had a French baguette. And
Well, you just cut the baguettes, didn't you?
we just filled it up.
It's worth looking into, Sherry.
Into
you know, it's totally worth looking into. As I said, it's good quality food. It's fresh vegetables. You know, you can only pick from what's available. It's a limited choice compared to the supermarkets. But as you start collecting things month in, month out, week in, week out, whatever it is, you end up with a vast amount of choice within your cupboards, freezer and pantry from what you're building up a collection from.
It's the future, Mark.
Garlic bread.
Whereabouts are you, Bridget? We make almost everything from scratch. Well, I mean, we do. It's very rare that it's never is. We have a ready meal.
We don't. You know, occasionally, just after the Christmas period, if we've managed to pick a pie up ready-made or whatever, occasionally we'd have something like that. But nearly everything is homemade, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we don't pick a pie up from the Food Initiative ready-made, everything has to be handmade, doesn't it?
Camborne and Cornwall. Well, we'll have a look again for that one.
Mr. Wallflowers has drawn up a list to look for where all these initiatives are.
It just saves the food from going into landfill. And it's supermarkets that supply them. It's like...
Just empty my cup, that's gone.
It's when you go to the supermarket and it's late at night and they have the whoopsies, the yellow stickers. It's all that kind of food that goes to the food initiatives because they've got that much of it. They send it to the food initiatives. So it's got a few days on it.
But it's twofold because if you don't help by taking it, you know, after it's not being given or shopped, it's going into landfill and it's filling up our local landfills when it doesn't need to be, when it's good, healthy food that can be eaten.
Yeah, Ellen,
it's not a pride
you do have
thing.
them in the US because Tessie does work in one. She helps out in there.
And Tessie has the local food truck that goes around, so I don't know if you need to look up for the local food truck.
Well, they are in America. I'm sure they're in Canada and they're in Australia. So they are a thing, and they're probably only going to get bigger now. No, they do everything, Sherry. It's not just food.
It's toiletries, cat food, dog food, cleaning products, car products, candle making stuff. The list is endless. What's there? You know, there's so many different things you can come across. And when I see something different, if it's something that we can use, I'll always take the different item to add to our repertoire of what we've got. You know, I'll always look for something different. I've got good olive oil there. I've got balsamic vinegar there. I've got salmon there. I've got steak and beef there. I've got, over time, not all at the same time.
You're not going to eat all that in 1 week.
You find different nuggets of different things, and I'm able to bring it back and stock it and separate it and eat a treat in between each time. And, you know, the quality of stuff I've been able to get there over the last... It's 2-3 years now, isn't it?
But we don't just shop in one. There's like 3 or 4 that we can go to.
Yeah, the food bank isn't the same thing. But as I said, Ellen, some of them have a shop section to the food bank where the public can buy products to help out with the running. But the food initiatives and the pantries are a separate thing altogether. They're not associated to food banks. They're a business-run enterprise, but they're heavily discounted for people in the community. And it doesn't matter if you're earning 100,000 a year or you're unemployed. It doesn't matter who you are. You're welcome to go and shop at them places.
You're just saving the food from going to landfill. Yeah, we know it's not a food bank, Tessie.
Yours is a local food pantry, food initiative thing,
Yeah.
isn't it? Saving from landfill, Tessie.
Yeah.
Does your council not use the food for fuel where you are? Down here, food beyond use is taken to produce energy from the shops. I've heard of the biofood fuel stuff, and I've heard a lot of the waste removal companies will actually sell the food waste that they take from cafes, restaurants, etc., and they'll sell it into the biofuel system. And I've heard of that, but there's so much excess.
There's that much food
coming
that's going
from
to waste.
supermarkets that either they're buying in excess, so obviously it's all not going to be sold, or there's less people buying it. But there's so much food that comes into whether it be the food banks, whether it be the pantries, whether it be the initiatives, there's so much influx of food that it'd be rude not to buy it and just let it go to landfill. It'd be rude because it's a waste of good, solid, healthy food. And, you know, if that's vegetables, those farmers have done a whole season of growing those beautiful vegetables. Why should they go in the landfill when we can benefit from eating them?
And a couple of days earlier, you'd be paying top price for them in the supermarket. And Shelley's saying she thinks you know where one is now.
Oh, lovely.
Just try. You'd be amazed.
The biggest plus is saving it from landfill, yes, first and foremost, and that's what got us there in the first place. But you're filling your belly, you're filling your family's belly, and you're saving those pennies that become pounds, that becomes a fortune. I say I've done this for 3 years, and I dread to think what the absolute total is.
They're only going to get bigger. I think they're going to be, like Tessie's saying, they're trying to expand it to other states.
Thanks, Ellen.
I think a lot of places are going to have them. And a lot of people are going to shop in them.
Oh, lovely. What berries were they, Tessie? Tessie got a case of berries today. And what are you going to do with them? Just once a month, but you had a truckload of food. Fabulous.
But that's it. You'll go in, you won't know what's there, and you just got to pick up what you like. You can't go in with a list like a shopping supermarket.
No, you won't be taken away from anybody. It's open to everybody, and that funding goes a long, long way. And you'll find some of them are church run, and the money that's funded into the particular grocers that I use, the community grocers, is mostly church funded. And the money, and you pay a £5 membership to the one I go to once a year, and you pay that every year. And then you pay £4 for the shop, which enables you to get 12 items. And if you wish to pick extra items up, you pay 40p per item. Whether I'm on 100 grand a year, or whether I'm in receipt of benefits, or whether I get nothing at all, I can go in there, pay the £5 once a year, pay the £4 for the shop, pay £40 for extra items. And each and every time I'm buying from there and supporting that facility, that money is regenerated into the shop for the goods, but it also goes into the church community where they're helping people that are less. It
helps them pay their bills to run that shop.
And it helps people within the community as well. And it's church run. It's run as a business, but it's run as a business through the church, and it's a wonderful facility.
And if you don't buy it, or people like us don't buy it, it just goes to waste. You're not taken from anyone. I see it as members only. Yeah, they're all like members. You pay a membership each year.
Once you pay that £5 renewal every year, you are the member. That's what they mean.
You're entitled to it then.
That's what a member is.
You just got to keep telling yourself, I'd rather use this than it going into landfill.
That's what we rather use that than the prices at the supermarket. All the vegetables aren't plastic wrapped. you know, all the vegetables in crates. I can pick them up. Yeah, sometimes I put them in a plastic carrier bag, don't get me wrong, but they're not shrink wrapped in plastic. They're all fresh
And that's
farm
half the
vegetables.
fun. You come home with the 12 items and you think, well, what am I going to make with this now? And you just go, let's put something together. It's not like I'm going to have this tonight, I'm going to have that tomorrow, I'm going to have... It's just whatever you can get your hands on and whatever you can come up with.
So if I've not been able to pick up meat this week, I'll have something left in from last time or the time before or the time before, because I've managed to accrue.
It just builds up, because you're not going to eat all that stuff in 1 week. Glad to be of service.
I had a few people that were talking quite critically to me when I first started doing the food initiative hauls, and saying that I was taking away food from people who may need it. And why don't I get a job? Is my husband working, etc., etc. I tried answering these questions, and the negativity still came. And one particular lady wasn't happy that I was still shopping at these places. And I'd like to think I'm quite articulate, and I'd like to think that I express how it is. But yeah, I'm certainly not taking away from anyone else. If anything, I'm donating to enable the people who do need it to still be able to get it, because I'm purchasing goods and I'm giving a regular income to that company and that church. So it keeps going. It's feeding a system and keeping it going, and I'm benefiting thoroughly. But anyone who needs it more than me will thoroughly be benefiting too, because as all the group members are supporting it and keeping this machine going, it's carrying on, being able to support those that need it.
It's the people that are paying for it that it's keeping it going, to supply the people that need it. Thanks, Danielle.
I know she did. I know she does, Ellen. And didn't she do herself so proud today? It was so wonderful to see how she handled it, and the dignity and the grace that she handled it with a big, beautiful smile.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was lovely to see. So proud of how she handled it. Well done, Tessie.
It was good that you smiled all the way through.
Yeah.
You could have just gone off on a rant and just kicked off on everyone, but you just sat there laughing.
I watched it myself last night, and when Mr. Wallflowers came in from work this afternoon, I said, "You've just got to watch this." I said, "Tessie's done herself so proud. You've just got to watch this." And he just sat there and giggled all the way through it. He went, "Well done, well done, well done." You have, love.
It's nothing to do with anyone. They've just got nothing better to do. They're just jealous. And
thank you, Pat. Hi, JB. Hi, Heather.
Hiya. So you don't need to judge anyone. Just get on with your own life.
We're not walking in anybody else's shoes, so we don't
just live your own life. And
yeah, it's not up to us to judge.
As long as they're not impacting on your life.
Hi, Jade. People can be so cruel and judgmental. I always think, but for the grace of God, there go I when I see people in need of help. One day could be them in the position of needing help. Exactly. Exactly.
G'day, Jade. It's only early morning over there, isn't it? When do you think AB will be out? AB? Who's AB?
Ellen will know and tell you that I've come a long way. It's one of my first subscribers, and I used to cry over it. I don't cry anymore. I guess I've grown up a little. Yeah. I started to get a bit emotional when the sub started going off after you'd helped us so much. And I've just had to go like that now and shake it loose and shake it off. And I keep saying, we've got a fabulous community. We've got people with us who are meant to be with us, and those that have left or YouTube have deducted whatever it wasn't meant to be. So much, Rachel. Thank you.
Sherry, this is Mary Ann and I'm Brian.
Very kind of you.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. It's 9:30 in Australia, 10:30 in Melbourne. Didn't know there was that many different time zones in Australia.
No, I didn't. I get blown away when people do things like that. I don't know how to react. If there were more frugal people, the world would revolve much nicer. It would, and we just wouldn't need as much to keep us all going. We're showing how little we need to feed ourselves, to balance ourselves with, and the machine doesn't stop. It's spitting out plastic, it's spitting out food that's going into the landfill, and it's crazy. Wow, Danielle. Thank you so much, love. Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you.
Just so generous to us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, they come and go. We haven't let it get us down. We laugh more than anything. Oh, we've lost 20 today. Oh.
I can have my canna before I know it now. Wow. This is all going in my cannon funds.
Thanks, Sherry.
We looked at a Tefal, Tessie, like the one you have, but unfortunately, in the comments, it was saying it wasn't a sufficient canner for acidic food.
Saying it was just a pressure cooker.
Because the Tefal here for us to get would have been cheaper than the Presto. Obviously a lot cheaper than the All American. But then the comments in it were saying it wasn't sufficient for these acidic food, because until I watched your video, I hadn't seen a Tefal canner before. So I was curious and we looked that up. Because I've seen you canning in it recently. You had the Presto and you had the Tefal both going at the same time. What did you do? You did the pasta recipe and you weren't too keen on with the pasta inside it.
Yeah, there is enough for everyone. People are too greedy.
Brilliant, Sherry. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. We love that you love us.
Oh, thank you, Danielle.
Have you ever water glassed eggs?
No, we've not done that, no, because we had to add the lime or the calcium. So I need to look into that further. So I wasn't sure whether you could just add crushed eggshells as the calcium. Who's asking about the...
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever... So it's Leela. Do you have to actually buy the lime powder or the calcium to do that? Or can you use crushed eggshells? Because I do know that's calcium.
Good night, Sherry. Thanks for coming. Glad you enjoyed it.
Night, Sherry, love. I hope you discover something near you. I really do. As I say, we'll look in your area.
Always get extra gaskets. But some of them are metal on metal, aren't they?
Can you get a metal on metal Presto? Or have they all got gaskets?
You gotta have to see.
Because we did see one, was it on eBay? And it just looked metal on metal. It didn't have a gasket in it, did it? And was it $60? Yeah, and then shipping on top.
No, that was a second-hand one, wasn't it?
A second-hand one for $60, and then it would have been $60 shipping, which is a lot cheaper than what we've seen anywhere else. But because we didn't see a gasket and they didn't reply to the question.
I asked them, was it metal on metal or did you need the seal in between? As
my sound has a problem, I will leave for a coffee. Thank you very much for all you do. God bless. Thanks, Christina.
If you just come out and then go back in.
If you came out and went back in, it probably would help. But enjoy your coffee, love. Kristen's. I don't know what that means, Tessie.
Mm.
Lime powder you get from construction store.
Let me read.
It will work if you refresh your page. Oh, she's talking to Christina. What is that behind you?
Oh my God.
Were you doing that?
No.
No. That's our curtains
The curtain.
drawn. We have 2 pairs of curtains on one window, so it might look exceedingly big, but it's 2 pairs of curtains on one window. And they're our curtains.
Well, if you could do that, Ellen, we'll send you the money for the postage.
I have 2 extra Presto cards above £5 sales.
I mean, we're closer to
Send you one.
something like 40.
From Amazon.
Something like $40
If
or
you
£40.
were able to do that, Alan, we'd obviously pay for the Presto as well, and pay for the shipping, no problem. If you can find time and you're able to do that, that would be a fantastic blessing to us. If you could email us and we can arrange that and we can send you the money. It's not a problem.
We can send you the postage.
Yeah, the shipping and the cost for the Presto. I wouldn't like you to go out of pocket in anything at all. I want to give you what it's worth. But yeah, that'd be a terrific savings for us.
It'd be amazing.
People have been sending us super chats, as you've seen in the conversation. They've been doing that for a couple of weeks now, and there's still a little bit in the coffee fund that people have specifically said this is for your canner. So through those 2 functions of the super chat donation and the coffee donation, there's enough there to do that. There's enough there to pay for it. So that would be absolutely wonderful, Ellen. Yeah, thank you.
And we don't just watch Prime in midlife. She's phoning.
As
On the phone
I
to her
have
all the time.
a couple of hours conversation with her every Friday night. We text message each other during the week. We're close friends, Karen and I. Yeah.
Now, did you get mailed out?
What do you mean? It never went through Stronghold Mind? See, Bridget was saying they've accepted her as...
Yeah.
Is that somebody who's joined? Was that Bridget? They've accepted her now as a member, but they wouldn't accept her at one point. And Stronghold said his donation wouldn't go through, so I'm not too sure.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know if somebody else has joined or...
We should get the cupboard doors sorted.
What cupboard doors? The kitchen cupboard doors. They need repainting, don't they? And they need to close properly. We know.
So with ours. Ours are the same.
He's talking about our doors, isn't he?
No, he's talking about Karen.
Oh, I thought he meant our cupboard doors. Yeah, they need to paint. They need to be rehung. Melissa, always keep a couple of extra gasket Presto canners. What I have 2, so it won't take as long, and I have 2 water bath canners. I've got a lovely deep water bath canner, and it'll take up to 45 jars. So, and I've had that for a couple of years, but I was under the belief that it was actually a proper canner. And over the last few months, I've been made aware it's only water bath.
Yeah, we can get them shipped over. Who's that? Stronghold Man. We'll have a look for that. She said you've donated $6.99. It's on the one.
I tried 3 times before I got my membership accepted. At least you're with us now, Bridget, which is a blessing. Thank you, love.
We'll have a look and see if that's gone through, but I haven't seen when it's gone through. Yeah, there are companies that do ship over. I mean, the cheapest one we found was something like $285, was it?
What was that for?
For the shipping and for the canner. Whereas the other one was $300. So
There's
we're,
big
we're
price
shopping
differences.
around.
Yeah. But if Ellen can do that one, we don't need to look any further
Mm.
because I trust her value. I trust
That's it. We can
No.
send you $60, $70 for postage.
and whatever the can is
Yeah.
worth.
Yeah, 2 pair of curtains do help.
It's amazing, Dita, how much warmer it is and keeps the draft out completely. And there's a radiator just behind this couch. So the curtains can tuck behind, and we tuck a bit. We've got the reflector behind the radiator, and we can feel the heat come through. But sometimes when the temperature
You don't feel it.
is so cold, I can't feel it. And not just that, it's the arthritis in my bones as well that stops me from feeling it. But I'm really quite warm now, but Mr. Wallflowers has had me sat on a hot water bottle through went live, so I'm really appreciating it. And he's got the heating on for me.
Mary Beth, how old are you two? One's 56 and one's 55. Which one's which? Daytona Bike Week starts March the 3rd. And it's nearly the Super Bowl soon, isn't it? Isn't it the Super Bowl next week?
What's the Daytona bike ride? Is that like
Must be like
the
the
French
TT
one?
races.
Oh, it's actual motorbikes, not
Yeah, I think so.
cycling.
He's saying
Is it cycling or motorbikes?
No, he's saying get the Harleys.
Oh, right, so it's motorbikes. What's Tessie looking into?
Well, getting this canner shipped over.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, girls. Thank you for both doing that for me. Thank you so much.
We'll sort it out with any payments.
Yeah, no, I'll be completely covered.
Is it too early to start cabbage and other cold crops?
I wouldn't say so, no. It's not too early to start the brassicas. You can start them in your modules. You can start them in your modules now. I wouldn't put any seed out outside.
It depends where you are, though. In the greenhouse.
Or inside on your window ledges. Now would be the perfect time to start them, to get them ready. Put them out early spring. People put them out at the end of November, don't they? Do the seedlings and then put them out, and they grow over winter. And the snow can fall on them, the rain can fall on them, and brassicas are a good cold winter vegetable. So, you know,
they do last.
People sow them the end of October and have them grown through the winter. In our climate, anyway.
Yeah, but not outside at this time.
See, we're all ladies of a certain age, Mary Beth, and gentlemen, even though we won't accept it. Inside, yeah, that's what I said, Tessie. Inside in modules, or if you have a sheltered or maybe a heated greenhouse of some sort.
It's got to be heated. I mean, greenhouses aren't that warm if they're not heated. They still get cold.
That's fabulous, Sam. Thank you so much.
Yeah, they were saying we don't pay import tax. You just pay the postage, the shipping. And I think we've been quoted 40 and 50.
And 80.
Yeah. But that's just different people.
It'll go by the weight, obviously. How heavy is the Presto? Because I know it's not as heavy as the All-American, but it'll still have some substantial weight to it, won't it? So I think weight will be...
I think it's only about 18 kilos, 16. Let's see if I came from China. Was it? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Valerie, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Valerie. Unbelievable. Wow.
Thank you.
That's just more absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow, blow us away, love. It's just all completely and utterly blow us away. This is just unbelievable.
And we don't do it for the money.
We don't. We certainly
just
don't.
enjoy
And
doing
it's
what we
just,
do.
Wow. Thank you so much,
just being
everybody.
us.
Thank you. That's the kind of completely and utterly covered and paid for now.
Thank you. And we just do it because we enjoy it.
Wow, it's amazing.
We didn't think so many of you would enjoy it. We just do it because we like it. And we're just glad that everybody else likes it. Mark, you've got chocolate buttons. Don't be greedy.
Crazy, that, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know what to say now. Thank you so much. Wow, you'll see me canning vids coming soon, ladies and gents. We'll be canning everything and anything we possibly can.
Everything we get out the garden. Thanks, Mark.
He's eating all of the chocolate buttons. God, that's just crazy, isn't it?
Bleed away.
Yeah. Right.
Good night, Danielle. You've got to go and cook dinner.
Have a lovely meal, Danielle. You enjoy, love.
Yeah. What are you going to make?
I don't think I need anything for the Cannon Fund, Tessie. That's about $50 gone in tonight, so I'm not sure about the.
More than that, isn't it? 'Cause
I'm not sure about the transfer rate.
as well.
Oh no, that was $80 then, is it?
Yeah, but YouTube
it's about $80 gone in
much
tonight
as well.
of generous donations there. I'm not sure about the transfer rate because that'll get transferred into UK money for us.
And then YouTube take their cut.
I think there's about 65 in super chats, so it depends what the rate is. So there's enough.
Yeah,
there's enough to pay for it, Tessie. Honestly, that's completely and utterly covered. It's just unbelievable. That's the channel's kind of sorted, isn't it?
The Cannon Fund.
I can't get my words out.
Yeah, I think they take 30% of. YouTube must be raking it in. The amount of people that are on YouTube with channels, and it must be raking it in.
Whatever's extra is, we'll look at the jars next, won't we? But I think there should be enough to cover the whole of the can of shipping and pay for it. I think that's completely covered.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what you just said. Extra money spent on jars and.
Yeah. I'd say you're paying £5 for one jar here, so we'll look at that at a different time.
And whatever's left will go to local communities and the food initiatives and stuff.
Thanks, Ellen. Yeah. So we've got the last 10 minutes, folks. Anything we should be looking at or covering, or anything anyone would like to discuss for the last 10 minutes? We always manage to squeeze these out for 2 hours, don't we? It's just fabulous. We just love everyone's company, and it's just, yeah. And we haven't even gone to conspiracy or wild this evening, have we? You know, which isn't like us.
Might not lose any subs this week.
I can't see out my glasses because they've all steamed up.
You should get the ball home preserving book.
And can you get that on Amazon? Who's talking about that one?
Case Rich.
Can you get that on Amazon, Case? Is that something I wouldn't mind taking a look at? Because, as I said, from the beginning with water bathing and stuff, I've always called myself a rebel canner. And not through once, but through that was the only way I could do it, using the recycled jars and just using whatever facilities I had to hand. So to know, I hear Tessie talking about the acidic food has to be pressure canned, and to have something like that to hand to actually, wow, Rachel, you've already given us some. Thank you so much, lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, Ellen.
Thank you.
We can have chickens. We can have chickens in our yard. But we've got that much veg growing. We don't want chickens really because they'll just eat everything.
Yeah, we decided against any chickens, livestock, anything.
Thanks, Rachel.
I mean, I would have actually liked a pig at one stage because we do have it in the mortgage details that we're legally allowed to have one pig. And that was my original plan. I would have liked to have had a pig, but we enjoy getting out and doing the vegetables and doing the beds, and you know, it's an excuse for me to be in the garden to do it. And we like any produce we're able to bring in from the garden. It doesn't matter how little. Sometimes our harvests have only been really tiny, and the carrots haven't been successful for the last couple of years. They've just been little diddy ones. But I've still been sure to make sure we eat them and make the most of them. As you know, I don't waste
And we don't want to keep chickens in just like a little coop in the corner where they're not allowed to run around. So
you too, love. Love you.
We did think about getting chickens one time, didn't we?
We did. We pondered over it. It was chickens or ducks, wasn't it? Because quite a few people had ducks at the time. We were talking about it, and the duck eggs are beautiful, aren't they? We absolutely love the duck eggs. And a friend of ours has ducks, and we've had duck eggs off here quite regularly. And we can. Well, we could before this stage of everything inflating, but on normal prices, before the price increases, we'd pay £3.50 for half a dozen large duck eggs. So it was still expensive, but they were a luxury treat for us, and we used to buy them.
They were twice the size of the chicken eggs, weren't they?
Yeah. We can't have a pig, but our chickens are not hard to manage. Yeah. And you probably get a good load of happiness from them as well and interacting. It's lovely to see Dirt Road Destiny and, you know, the relationship she has with the chickens. You know, I don't know whether they're going to be farmed for meat or etc. But I know the joy they bring her every day just lifts her. And
that's right, Helen. They are destructible.
Well, they had a culling season here. So I'm saying, depending on where you live, most urban dwellings, no chickens allowed, unfortunately. And I have an allotment with chickens. So domestically in the gardens, not tons, but a few people had chickens here just in domestic gardens.
In the back garden.
And because not long after the bird flu, it was just over 12 months ago, I think, the government were telling everybody they had to cull the chickens in the gardens because of the imminent bird diseases and infections. There wasn't that much uproar, was there? You know, I thought, you know, if they were my livestock, my pets, or however I perceived them to be, that I'd kick a stink up. You know, if my animals weren't ill, why should I cull them? But there didn't seem to be any protest or anybody speaking against it. I think they just went ahead and did what was asked of them.
Kate's saying their chickens learned how to scale the fences and eat all the tomatoes.
Cases, aren't they? You know, they're not daft. They're very intelligent, aren't they? You know, they'll work things out. Yeah, you've got to know what you're doing with them, and there is procedures and everything, yeah. I bought a pressure canner, 22 litre on Amazon. It's from China, though. It does work. Still cost a fortune. That's it. That's it. Well, if Ellen, along with Tessie, can work it out, we'll do this one and we'll go for it. Now we know everything is absolutely in place for it. There's not a problem. I'm getting the canner. I'm getting the canner. I should have said the channel's getting the canner. Right.
That's 5 minutes.
That's 5 minutes.
Just flies over. Thanks, everyone. I'm glad you all enjoyed it again.
Everyone have a lovely evening. Much love. Thanks for the information live sessions. Hopefully
Thanks,
someone will be
Rachel.
fine. Yes, Canna. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you so much.
That's it. We weren't going to do one tonight. It was only a last minute thing that somebody asked if we were going to do one, and we just said, go on, and we may as well. It got to like 7 or 8 o'clock, didn't it? We said,
We have a Facebook group, and it's called Wallflowers UK. And a couple of ladies have joined the Facebook group as well. I don't do an awful lot on there yet. I have done. I've run it for over 2 years, and there's a lot for you to look back there. Recipes, different events. I've canned, bottled, jams, garden, you name it, absolutely everything on it. And again, it's called Wallflowers UK on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. And the lady put a post on there today.
thanks, Brenda.
Are you doing a live stream tonight? And all of a sudden, because we were too busy to make a video yesterday, just life takes over sometimes.
And then after last week's live, where we lost so many subs, we thought, is it worth it?
You know. But yeah.
And then we just thought, 7 o'clock, go on then, we'll do one. And we're glad we did. And I'm
so
just
the
glad you
group's
all enjoyed it.
called Tessie. It's the same as this channel. It's called Wallflowers UK, and it's my Facebook group. I didn't know you were on Facebook, Tessie.
It's midnight here in the UK, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, Wallflowers UK, and everybody's welcome to join the group. Yeah, I'll start putting a bit more on the book as well. Oh, lovely, Bridget. Thank you so much.
We used to post loads on there, but we haven't, since the YouTube's took over, we haven't really.
Yeah.
But
well, as you say, we've got to do YouTube, you've got to do live,
we've got a Twitter page as well, but
yeah,
it's only the YouTube videos that get uploaded to it, and a Rumble page as well.
We are night owls. Yeah. Well, Mr. Wallflowers doesn't have work tomorrow morning, so
it's the weekend.
He works 6 days a week, so if it was any other day of the week, he'd be gone by 11 p.m.
And I've had me sleep in the afternoon, so I'm wide awake.
And how many hours did you have this afternoon?
2.5. 3. And I'm off next week as well.
Oh, yeah. How long have you got off?
5 days. I'm in Monday and then off the rest of the week. Yeah, we've just stayed up for you, Ellen. We thought we'll have to stay up for Ellen.
So where might we be getting around to next week? Seeing as
we went to Chinese New Year last week.
Yeah.
We might take a trip to Liverpool or something. Around the museums, or have a look at the waterfront and the library.
Would you like to see that, everyone? Would you like to see what Liverpool looks like and a bit of inside the museum and around the Albert Dock?
Maybe Matthew Street, the Beatles.
Where the Beatles were, where the Cavern is. Would you like to see a bit of that? Rachel would, yeah. Ellen would, yeah. Oh, Linda.
Oh. What did we tell you last week?
Lovely, lovely. Well, we'll bring you some of that.
You can
during the
watch it
week.
back on the live button on the channel, but it takes us till tomorrow before we can upload it to the actual channel videos, doesn't it?
See, the reason we do, we upload the live as a separate video the next day is because some of the viewers don't know to come and click on the live tab. And that way these comments and everything's here. So you can have the live chat and watch the video. Those of you who are seasoned YouTubers will know that. And I'm not trying to teach you old tricks, but there are still people who watch the channel that won't know to come into the live tab and won't know that they can read the comment with this after the fact. So we upload it to the main page when it allows us to download it, and then they just see it as a video that comes through their page, so everyone can view it where they need to view it, really. Oh, Bridget, yeah, I'd like that. I can't wait to be on tour again. Wallflowers on tour. Your tour was good when you go strolling around and cracking up and down them hills. We loved your tour as well, Bridget. Yeah. I can imagine I used to work 6 12-hour days, was long and laborious, yeah. And that's how Mr. Wallflowers gets. He gets really tired because he's up at 4 a.m. in the morning. By the time he comes home, late lunchtime, he needs a snooze and he needs to fill his belly, don't you?
It's just good when you see other people doing like little tours and stuff. You're looking out for different things, like when Tessie goes shopping or something.
Wow, that's a long week. Melissa works 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
12-hour shift should be banned.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for anybody.
So you just get up, go to work, come home, eat, go to sleep, go to work.
Work, sleep, work, sleep. That's it, isn't it?
12-hour shift should be banned.
It's a lot for anyone, especially to do long term. You may do one day, Melissa.
We'll try and show it as much as what we can.
We keep showing clips. We'll keep showing our outings, and when the warm weather comes, we'll show a bit of the local neighbourhood and our rural areas here. And if we get to places like Manchester, Liverpool, you know, the countryside, we'll show.
Because we never used to think to share that on the channel.
We didn't think people would be interested, really, because we look for the historic value and, you know, the added history bits and that. So it's really so nice to see that a lot of you are really interested.
But it's good to watch other people when they're out and about, and it's interesting seeing other places and where they live.
Yeah. Nearly a full week will be a man allowed around, so he'll enjoy that. There's more to come from the summer. I've been thinking where to take you all. Oh, that'd be fabulous. We'll look out for that, Bridget. Holmes, Tessie. Yes, Ellen was a prison guard, which I found so fascinating.
Crazy.
Wow. That takes a lot of a person. Yeah. No sexism, like, but a woman prison guard. Yeah.
Thanks, Anne. We'll show you some of it.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll look forward to that then, won't we?
We'll show you Everton's new football ground that's being built.
I thought you weren't following football anymore.
Oh, no.
Hello, sweet friends. There's lots of villages in the UK. Yeah, lots and lots of villages. So where we live is a dale, which is basically a village. It's a 40,000 people village, but there are smaller villages. Crawford is in it. Although my eldest son's called Crawford, there's actually a village not too far from us, and the name of the village is Crawford.
Within a couple of miles,
and it's just a couple of miles away. And there are villages all around. Yeah, there's lots and lots of villages. There's some quaint ones, there's some modern ones.
We live in like a new town that was built for the overspill of Liverpool in the 60s.
Oh, Marge just saying, I love pictures of the Cotswolds.
Mm.
Maybe live there in my next life since I'm 80 now. Never know, Marge. Never know where we'll end up next, love. Hey both, hope you are keeping warm. Still cold here in Birmingham. I was saying,
Up and down.
Stephen, it's been particularly cold here. Mr. Wallflowers isn't feeling it today, and I don't know why, but I am. Yeah.
That's enough, Bridget. Do you want to get banned? She's looking for the ban. But they don't play football at all. That's the problem. So I'd have to agree with you.
Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed tonight, folks. Just blown away with all your blessings. Thoroughly enjoyed all your company and your comments. Boy, will I sleep tonight.
I will do, Rachel.
What you saying?
Give it a hug.
Oh. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll speak to you soon. Good night.
Thanks, everyone. See you all next week. Thanks for everything.
If it allows me to do this.
Oh no, we're here all night. Good night.
God bless.